So my last Stratagem review short was a little, popular, and I got a fair few comments talking about, the more controversial take I have of the recoilless rifle being, C tier. So I'm making this video to explain my methodology for reviewing Stratagems, and hopefully that'll explain away some of the comments that I got. Now, first of all, thank you for leaving those comments, and thank you for being polite about them. I got no rude comments, which is good. I like not having rude comments, I like people being nice, and you're perfectly entitled to your opinion. This is my explanation of how I formulate my own. So, let's cover that. But before that, subscribe, YouTube meta, like, comment, all that crap. You know how it be. First thing I do when deciding on a stratagem to review is I just pick a stratagem. Any of them. Seriously, it's that easy. I just go, yeah, I'm gonna try you out for a fair few missions. And then I play, like, a fair few missions. In the shorts, you only see, like, 1 or 2 missions. That's because certain planets have, modifiers that make it a little difficult to see. And also, it's a little hard to fit all that footage into one video. But trust me when I say, I do use every stratagem in as many situations as I can find myself in. Obviously, I don't have time to play infinite missions with infinite stratagems, or try out infinite strategies, but that's the first thing I do. I go in, set up my recording software, and just play a bunch of missions, trying out different things, different difficulties, different enemies, all that stuff. Then I split the factions. Because each weapon is definitely designed for different factions, for obvious reasons. Here, you need an example. Let's take the Ballistic Shield Backpack. Terrible against the bugs because it doesn't block melee attacks, and also doesn't block the spitter goo, bile, all that crap. It's terrible, it's awful. However, it's much more usable against the bots. Now, I don't consider it to be higher than D tier because I still think it's not good, but the review of the bugs and the review of the bots don't affect each other because they're different enemy types that require different strategies, different playstyles, all that. You're basically playing 2 different games. The next step is to determine what the stratagem's good at, as in, what is its purpose within your stratagem loadout. Take the recoilless rifle, for example, and let's continue using this as we go through the process. The recoilless rifle is built to take out heavily armored units since it can one-shot chargers, hulks, and does significant damage to palatines and factory striders. This is determined both by the description of the weapon, the general use cases, and attempting to use it in every situation possible. Yes, that means I did try to take out a swarm with a recoilless rifle. It did not end well. I then attempt to look for specific use cases. You know, stuff like, can this weapon deal with long-range enemies? Can this weapon be used up close? Can this weapon actually deal damage to factory striders and all that crap like that? That's actually how I found out that the flamethrower can damage factory striders. It's horribly impractical, so it didn't affect the end rating, but it can if you aim for the stomach. And here is where I'm going to cover what I don't consider, because I got a few comments on the recoilless video that talked about ship upgrades. First of all, do not harass these people that left comments. They were nice, they were polite, they don't deserve that, they left their opinion on a video, which is something I support and they are perfectly entitled to do. In fact, I like that they put these comments here because it allows me to address them properly. Thank you for leaving comments, please leave more, as I like seeing what you guys think. Anyways, Anteater2132 says, one ammo refill gives it max ammo if you have the upgrade. This is, of course, completely true. However, in my stratagem reviews, I avoid talking about specific ship upgrades at all. This is for a couple reasons. The biggest reason being that certain weapons become a lot different and a lot more powerful with or without ship upgrades. For example, the flamethrower's 25% damage upgrade, really strong. That video I made about the flamethrower, that was without that upgrade. Also, I don't have every ship upgrade, and neither do most players. Not every player has access to every ship upgrade, so I shouldn't review stratagems as if I have every ship upgrade, right? I also review stratagems in a vacuum, not considering any combos between them. This heavily affects certain ratings. For example, the gas strike is incredibly strong with EMS, with smoke, with anything that stacks on top of it, creating a DOT zone of death. If I reviewed it like that, though, I'd have to review every stratagem like that. And every stratagem is S tier when combined with ideal use cases. The last thing I consider are pain points. Now, you may be wondering, what's a pain point? A pain point is basically a situation that I find myself in where I attempt to use the stratagem in what should be an ideal use case, and it fails, something goes wrong, etc. Pain points are really specific things, like the recoilless's really janky reload animation that requires you to crouch cancel it. The 500 kilogram bomb hitting a wall instead of the floor, or the orbital laser just missing a target and killing me instead. Once all that's done, I tally them up and decide on a tier. And here is the tier list graph. S tier is for stuff that is meta, as in, you can bring this to pretty much any situation and it will deal with that situation. S tier is exclusively for stuff that is applicable to pretty much every situation. So, as the recoilless, even if they turbo buffed it, it's never going to deal with swarms, and as such will remain an A tier. A tier is where good stuff belongs. Stuff that is above average, good, great, yada yada yada. B tier is for stuff that's just good. It might get outclassed by other options, but it's still a solid option to deal with whatever situation it's meant to deal with. C tier is where stuff that has significant drawbacks comes in. As in, you're pretty much nerfing yourself by using this thing. Recoilless is a great example. The weapon has a long reload, a lot of ammo issues, and gets outclassed by pretty much every weapon in the class. Even the autocannon outclasses it. D tier is for stuff that you have pretty much no business running unless you're just goofing off. Like, you know, the barrage stratagems, stuff that's terrible for trying to actually complete the mission efficiently and effectively, but they're fun and they're good for dicking around. F tier is for stuff that's actively a waste of a slot, as in, there's no value in running it. The shield generator relay is pretty much the only example that I can find of this right now since the ballistic shield got fixed. It's boring, it's ineffective, it's terrible. You're wasting your slot by bringing it. It doesn't accomplish any job. It's terrible. F tier is exclusively for stratagems that are a boring, buggy mess that there's just no reason to run them. Pick anything else. Well, like the bottom of the barrel. I can't express this enough. If I consider a stratagem F tier, I consider it to have zero value and to actively be griefing in some cases bringing it. Don't bring F tier stratagems. Don't. With that out of the way, let's run through a short and analyze how I put it all together. So a new player that's been throwing stratagems to deal with every charger and every Hulk suddenly picks up the recoilless rifle, one-shots a charger or Hulk with it, and then suddenly declares it the best weapon and never puts it down again, right? I'm not the only noob who went through that experience, right? Luckily, as a wizened old man, I can declare that the recoilless really isn't all that. The first part of the video is introducing the stratagem, setting an expectation, and generally kind of dealing with the expectations that people seem to have for a weapon, because the force of general opinion and popular opinion is strong, and I completely avoid using any popular opinion. I will say whatever I want to say about the weapon, and nothing will stop me. Upsides: one-shots chargers and hulks and tanks. It does significant damage to battle titans and striders. It also has infinite range, so you can snipe objectives from across the map if you're good enough. In the second part, I list out the biggest standout feature of the stratagem. You know, the one-shots, the big infinite range thing, the stuff that people want to run it for. Downside: ungodly reload. Yes, I know you can team reload it. No, it doesn't solve the problem. It also takes up the backpack slot of you or a teammate, sometimes both if you want to use it reliably. It's also an ammo vacuum. Like, seriously, you see those guys that suck up all the ammo at every mission? They're probably running the recoilless. You may be wondering why I decided to put the positive first, then the negative. This is because you need to understand that every single stratagem has a good upside and a specific use case. The problem is, every stratagem can do the same thing. For example, 500 kilogram bomb and precision orbital fulfill basically the same role. What you're gambling against is their cooldowns, the way they come in, etc. The determining factors for each stratagem's rating are what does it accomplish versus what are its limitations. What are its limitations? What do you need to put into it? What do you have to worry about? How many slots does it take? Does it take up your backpack slot? What's its cooldown? All of these things are the balancing act from effectiveness to drawbacks. There's such thing as too specialized, and I think we've hit it, because it's C tier at best against both enemy types, and honestly, it could be argued to be even lower. Subscribe, as I'll be covering all the other stratagems as well. I then, the ending stinger, besides reminding you to subscribe, which you still should do, I make these videos for you, I try to summarize the entire video into little small bullet points. You know, the upsides and the downsides along with the rating. Now, sometimes I do have to retract a video and release a redux version of a stratagem. That's already happened with the ballistic shield because it got a significant update. There are some reasons why I will release a Redux, but generally they fall under one of the three categories. Either one, I'm an idiot and forgot about an important thing regarding the weapon, or stratagem in this case. Two, it receives a major bug fix, update, or rework, which, there's other stratagem that already falls into this, and this is where I'm telling you that, yeah, I'm recovering the gas strike again now that they fixed the goddamn DOT effects. Or three, my opinions have changed of it over time, for one reason or another. As an example, the gas strike. I wasn't a fan of the gas strike when I made the first video, and now we're doing another because the DOT got fixed, but also because they nerfed my Eruptor, they nerfed the grenade pistol, and they nerfed several other options that I use to clear swarms, so the gas strike suddenly becomes a fair bit more interesting for me to consider when using it against the bugs. I still hate it against the bots, it's still not good against the bots though. And that's pretty much my entire setup. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be sure to make more videos like this, and leave a comment, let me know what you want to see. Because I'm going to review every stratagem. Let me know if you want to see weapons, grenades, mission upgrades, or whatever you want. I don't know. I like making these things, and y'all seem to like watching them, so hey, symbiotic relationship. And no, I still have yet to figure out how to do a goddamn outro.